YouTube, how you doing? Let's go. Welcome back to the channel. We are red hot in November. And yes, it's only been 2 days so far in November with our picks, but yesterday we swept the table clean, swept spreads, swept total, swept player props. So what a great day to be jumping on here now after a clean sweep. Yesterday, we are now back over 500 for our record. Our win percentage is back up above 50%. Still not where we want it, but we're at 51% right now. And yeah, it was good to see that we were kind of firing on all cylinders last night. We had the Bucks, the Heat, the over in the Rockets-Lakers game. Then we had Halliburton under assists and Jalen Green's over in points, and everything hit. So 5-0 last night, and it feels pretty good to say that because you guys know some of the recent games and some of the recent struggles that we have had, but we are here. That is all in the past. We are here on November 3rd to go through this very, very large slate. I think it's 11 games, maybe. Yeah, I think 11 games. We do have a few picks, so let's jump into each of these games. Before we do, guys, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button and liking the video, much appreciated. Let's jump right into the first game here. The Boston Celtics, my Boston Celtics, visiting Orlando. Boston opened up at 6.5-point favorites. The spread is 215.5. And, you know, I'm not going to lie. This Celtics team has frustrated me. They've, made me question what type of team that they are, everything like that. I watched them every single dribble. And they should come out here and smack around Orlando. They should. They've had such a frustrating last few games, They lost to Washington back-to-back, and then they just blew an absolutely huge lead to Chicago. So the Celtics should come out here and smack around the Magic by more than 6.5 points here, but I can't trust it yet. I'm not there with this team yet to be able to trust that. What I do like is that total at 215.5. I see this total going, 10 points over that, so I am going to be in on the over. I just can't trust my home team to take them yet, and I'm definitely not going to bet against them in that spot. I don't think that's enough points for the Magic, so my pick for this one is going to be the over 215.5. I see this game going, anywhere from 220 to 225, if I'm being honest. Next up, we have Indiana and New York. So New York, underdogs here. New York is one of the better teams in the league. So far, at least better teams in the East. They're 5-2. They're 4-3 against the spread, but they are 1.5 underdogs to this Indiana team at home. The total is 219, and I don't have an official locked-in play yet for this game. If I'm being completely honest, I kind of want to think about it a little bit more, but I'm leaning New York, and the reason I'm not saying, boom, let's lock it in, is because I feel like when Vegas opens up these lines and the books open up these lines and they take the team that you'd consider the worst team and their favorites, that tells me they might know something we don't know. So look into this team's history. Indiana has had New York's number in the recent history, so I might be staying away from this game, but gut reaction here, and gut sort of, once I first started doing the research, I am leaning New York because I don't think that history proves anything for this New York Knicks team, I think that they are a newfound success, whether it's, half of last year into this year or anything like that. I'm leaning New York there, and another lean I have would be the over, but I don't think I'm going to be touching that total at 219. Even though I do see that game going over, I don't think that I'm going to be locking that in. But definitely keep an eye on the pinned comment here. That is where I submit my final ticket, guys. And, when we record these at like 4:35 a.m., that type of thing, a lot can change throughout the day. So if I say a pick on the video, I would not just, if you're watching this, right when it comes out, I would hold off, watch the line, see which way you can tell it's moving, and then place your bet when it gets closer to game time. I'm just recording the video and getting my picks out to you guys, when I can do it, when it fits my schedule. So I'm not putting in and locking in these games right away because lines can move. So definitely keep an eye on the pinned comment to see what my, official ticket is going to be at the end of the night if you do want to ride with me. All right, next up we have Toronto visiting Washington. This is an interesting one. The team that I like in this game is getting points. So right now, Washington is giving 3 points to Toronto, and the total is 218.5. I do like Toronto in this spot. I don't know if I'm going to be pulling the trigger on it. There's something telling me that, it's not a done deal yet. There is a decent amount of injuries on the Washington side of things. Bertans is out, Hachimura's out, and Thomas Bryant's out as well. Toronto, not many injuries to worry about here, but I'm definitely strongly leaning towards Toronto here. The only reason I won't pull the trigger is, Washington's been playing good. Like, they have been playing good basketball. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one, but I'm strongly leaning Toronto. And I guess if I were to give any sort of take on the total here, I would lean the under. Now, I know that Washington has been putting up some serious points, like averaging 112 to 115 on any given night. But I do think Toronto's defense holding opponents just 100 points could kind of bring that back down to earth. And I don't think Toronto has the offense to necessarily keep up with a Washington team firing on all cylinders. So if I pull the trigger on Toronto here, it's because I'm banking on their defense. And if I pull the trigger on the total, it's because I'm banking on Washington. But I'm not taking Washington. It's either over in Toronto or nothing for me in this game. But keep an eye on the pinned comment here. All right, Cleveland, Portland. Portland is 3.5-point favorites here. I love Portland in this spot. I do. I think you might be saying, okay, Cleveland's, coming off of a great win against Charlotte. They might be feeling themselves. Portland's coming off of 2 tough losses, to Charlotte and then another tough loss to Philly. I really like Portland in this spot. No injuries to worry about. Portland has rolled Cleveland recent history. I'm going to be over Portland all day here, minus 3.5. I'm going to keep an eye on how that line moves because I have a feeling that's going to get even worse and worse and worse for Portland. But I am definitely going to be riding Portland here. But just keep an eye on the pinned comment, I guess, to see what my final number I end up with. But I would take it right now, even if if I wanted to. So I'm definitely going to be looking to play Portland here. The only thing that gives me any sort of hesitancy is that they have not covered yet when they are on the road, but I do think that this line's a little inflated after Cleveland comes off of a big win, so I'm going to be looking at Portland here. I don't think I'm going to be touching the total. Both these teams can score points and not play defense, but my numbers tell me this could be an under. That total right now actually is 220, so when my eye test says, hey, this could be an over type game, but my numbers say it's going to be a big time under game, I don't want to, start that mental war in my own brain. So I'm sticking away from the total here, but I do like Portland minus 3.5. Next up, we have Philly hosting Chicago, 2 of the better teams in the East. And, I'm not going to BS you guys here. This is going to be one that I'm staying away from simply because it's one of those games, and we have done a really good job. I'm proud of myself for not forcing picks in big games like this. I'm sticking away from it because this is one that I don't have a read on. Both these are good teams. Both of them can up the pace or slow down the pace at any given notice. So there goes the total out the window. But Philly is 1.5-point favorites, and then the total is 216.5. I think if I were to play anything on this game, it would probably actually be the under. But to be honest, it's going to be pretty damn hard for me to put any sort of pick towards this game. So I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm not going to be playing this game on either side of it. But if, for whatever reason I had to make a play, I think it'd be the under 216.5. Next up in a similar boat is Brooklyn and Atlanta. Brooklyn's given 5.5 to Atlanta. The total is 219. This is the exact same thing. I don't like either side of this with that number. I know we're still waiting for that game where Brooklyn plays a pretty decent opponent, which could be Atlanta, and just blows them absolutely out. And this could be that game. So I'm not going to be on the opposite side of that. But at the same time, I can't just trust Brooklyn with my money right now. So I'm staying away from the spread there. The total's 219. I would lean under. But again, it's going to be pretty damn tough for me to put any sort of a play on this game. Moving on to the Clippers visiting Minnesota. This is an interesting one. This is one where, you look at it and say, wow, okay, Minnesota, 1.5 favorites here, and the total is 217.5. It's weird to me to think that the Clippers aren't a very good ball club right now, It's very weird to think of it like that because you see Clippers and you see them as underdogs to Minnesota. You're kind of like, what the heck? What's going on here? But that is the case. Like they are underdogs here, and rightfully so. They've beat the only 2 wins the Clippers had were a blowout against Portland, who didn't show up at all, and a win against OKC, and they beat OKC by 5 points. Shout out to our pick, OKC plus 12. But Minnesota, they have some quality wins here. They've beaten Dallas. They've beaten the Pelicans, so you can argue if it's quality or not. I would give you that one. But then, they've beaten Milwaukee. Like this Minnesota team is better than we think, but I I don't know if I'm ready to ride them against the Clippers team. The Clippers have definitely had their number in recent history, and I know that this is a different Clippers team and a different Minnesota team, but this is one that I probably do end up staying away from. My numbers say huge under game, but I think that's just because how badly these teams have been scoring. Like, I don't necessarily want to trust that, so I do think I'm staying away from this game. If anything, though, I would say lean Minnesota and lean under, but if you need to make a play on this game, I say you ride Minnesota because the Clippers have been so inconsistent. All right, next up, this is one I really like, and I think this is a tough one because most people are going to be on Denver in this game. In fact, 67% of the money right now is on Denver. The Grizzlies are 1.5 favorites right now, and that total is 213. I really like Memphis here. I know that they just beat Denver, and you're thinking, okay, you know what? Revenge spot for Denver, right? They're going to come out here and play a lot better. I think this Grizzlies team is fairly legit, and I think that they've been able to hold their own. I think it's like 4 out of the last 5 covering the number here against Denver. I think I'm riding with Memphis here. My numbers gave me that Memphis should be 4-point favorites. They're only 1.5-point favorites, so I think I'm going to be riding Memphis here. Not touching the total. The books and my numbers crunched out to the exact same total, so I don't know which way to lean there, so I don't even want to give you guys any lean, but Memphis for me is definitely going to be one of my plays unless any news comes out and whatnot. Check the pinned comment, but right now I am saying screw the revenge game mentality. I'm looking at Memphis, and I'm probably going to end up rolling with them. Next up, we have Dallas visiting San Antonio. Dallas on the second night of a back-to-back here. They did just get punked by the Heat, which we were on the right side of there. I really like the Spurs. The Spurs are 1-point underdogs right now. The total's 216.5. I don't love the total number, but I really like the Spurs in this scenario. This is a revenge spot for me. They've already lost. They lost by 5 in a close game just a few nights ago to Dallas, so I really like the spot here for the Spurs, especially if Porzingis doesn't play. Like, if Porzingis is ruled in, it could change the play on this, but as of right now, I am strong leaning Spurs, and you're probably going to find a Spurs ticket in my pocket here for this game. Next up, Charlotte visiting Golden State. Golden State's giving Charlotte 6 points. The total's 226. And just like the Chicago, Philly, and the Atlanta, Brooklyn games, I'm staying away from this one. This is one where, both of these teams have actually been 2 teams that I've been riding all year long, and now they're playing each other. I guess I would lean Golden State here. They're at home, but Charlotte is a good team, and both these teams can push the pace, but Vegas knows that. They already listed the line here, the total at 226. So this is going to be one where I'm definitely just looking at it as a consumer and watching this game and enjoying it, to be honest. And then last up, we have Sacramento hosting New Orleans. Sacramento 5.5-point favorites. The total's 218.5. I don't love that number as a total, just with both of these teams being on back-to-backs here. But one pick that I don't want to say love, but where I'm strongly leaning is Pelicans here. Pelicans double-digit loss last night to the Suns. If the Pelicans get some of their guys back, I know they had a lot of injuries last night. Brandon Ingram's questionable. Devontae Graham didn't, I believe maybe he played last night, actually. If they get their guys back, I do like the Pelicans in this spot. It might be tough to get it on the final ticket, but that's the way I'm leaning. And I will update you guys in the pinned comment down below. But that's what I got for you guys with spreads and totals for tonight's games. I probably will sprinkle in some player props at some point as well. So make sure you guys are staying up to date with the pinned comment. That's where I have any ads or any removes. If there's a big injury and I say, whoa, timeout. Do not listen to what I said in this video. There's been a huge development, that type of thing. So make sure to keep up to date on the pinned comment. And then, as always, guys, drop your picks in the chat. I love reading the comments of the picks that you guys are going with, even if you disagree with me, even if you're fading me. So definitely do that. And I've really been enjoying doing these videos. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and like the video. And let's stay red hot. Make sure to keep an eye out for that pinned comment final ticket. And yeah, let's make some money tonight. Peace out. We'll catch you guys in the next video.